Hi, I'm Robin.
And I'm Chris. Together we're the Gen X couple.
Hey guys.
Take one. Hello, everyone.
No, don't you dare. He's reaching for the buzzer. We still have the buzzer with us. And I'm excited to use it because I'm guesstimating that there's going to be a few usages today. Today we are going to talk all about Western Massachusetts and the Berkshires. And this was actually Chris's idea. So I put together a list of some cool stuff if you guys head out to the Berkshires. I know a lot of people think it's just rolling hills and scenic drives, but there's actually a lot of really cool stuff out in Western Massachusetts. And there's quirkiness all around every corner, plus history that goes back for centuries.
Yes, absolutely. When most people hear Berkshires, they think mountains or fall foliage. That's how you say it?
It's not foliage, it's foliage.
That's what I said.
No, you said foliage.
But this region is so much more.
First sentence. Again, last episode was in the first sentence.
It's because you set me up for failure.
Words!
There are performance venues that rival big cities, art museums next to rolling meadows, authentic colonial villages.
See, this is helping
Gilded
you
Age
pronounce things better.
estates,
You're welcome.
Quirky attractions like entire rooms made of candles, and outdoor experiences that range from to downright thrilling.
From serene to downright thrilling. I'm not going to buzz you on that. I can't wait to talk about the candle one. This is one of my favorite places. And I don't even know why. Because both times that we've been there have been filled with sadness for me. Because the one thing I really want to do has been closed. You know what I'm talking about, but we'll get to it later. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay. But we'll get to that, and I will talk about my immense disappointment when we get there. But we're not just going to talk about disappointments. We're going to talk about some awesome things in the Berkshires. And I feel like it's really the best part of the Berkshires are the hidden gems. So we're going to highlight some of those in this episode for you guys. Things that you may or may not find in your everyday travel guide.
Now let's set the scene first. The geography. The Berkshires are part of a larger Appalachian mountain range.
I know some people in the South call it Appalachian, but I assure you it's Appalachian, and that's how we pronounce it in the Northeast.
We do.
Yep.
But that makes them unique. It's suddenly how the terrain rises from the Connecticut River Valley. You can drive east to west, and within an hour, you feel like you're in a completely different world. Forest peaks, winding rivers, and valleys that echo with history.
Long before the region became a cultural destination, it was home to indigenous peoples for thousands of years. And that included the Mohican and the Pocumtuck tribes. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I have a better chance of pronouncing it correctly than you do, which is why I put this under me. And if I mispronounced it, I apologize to the indigenous folks out there. But the rivers and the trails and the ridges were part of their trade networks and seasonal migrations long before the European settlers invaded their space.
Now, the first European settlers came in the 1730s and 40s. They built farms, mills, and small towns using the rivers for water power. Those early industrial roots are still evident today if you explore towns like Lee or Pittsfield. You'll see old mill buildings repurposed into galleries, shops, and restaurants.
And speaking of Pittsfield, it's the largest city in the Berkshires. It's often overlooked, but it was once a blooming industrial hub in the 19th century, known for ironworks and manufacturing. Today, Pittsfield has reinvented itself with art spaces, breweries, and revitalized historic districts. It's a great place to explore before heading to the mountains.
Now let's talk about the landscape. And a perfect place to start is Mount Greylock. It's the highest peak in Massachusetts at 3,491 feet.
I'd have a picture of that in my camera roll.
And you can drive to the summit or hike sections of the Appalachian Trail, which crosses the peak. And at the top is the Veterans War Memorial Tower, a granite monument built on World War I veterans.
Monument. You said momentum, not. And Mount Greylock isn't just a natural landmark. It's literally history. Some historians believe that it inspired Herman Melville's Moby Dick. He spent time in the Berkshires around 1850 and described landscapes here in journal entries that resemble the fictional setting of his novel.
Now, switching gears a little, let's talk music and performance. Tanglewood in Lenox has been the summer home of the Boston Symphony Orchestra since the 1930s.
We love Tanglewood.
Yes, the outdoor setting is spectacular with rolling hills, open-air lawn seating, and the music floating through the mountains. And it's not just classical. They host jazz, pop, and contemporary concerts too.
Yeah, who did we see? We saw the Steve Miller Band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a little something for everyone.
There is. It's really cool because it's like a pavilion.
Yeah.
And a lot of people bring
like tailgate inside. They bring everything in with them, chairs, and for the some of the concerts, they even have people setting up little candles.
Yeah.
Like a fancy dinner.
Yeah, we saw somebody with a folding table last time.
And they had like a tablecloth.
A candelabra, a tablecloth.
Yeah. People go out.
It was really cute, yeah. Yeah, we love it there. It's really cool. You know, people they allow you to bring in blankets, picnic baskets. Chairs. And you can even bring in
coolers.
Wine. Yeah, you can bring alcohol in there. It's pretty cool. There's really a sense of community and celebration at Tanglewood that makes it feel different from a traditional concert hall type of a place.
Yep, and it started in 1937 as a summer venue for the Boston Symphony Orchestra and quickly became a place where composers, conductors, and musicians could gather, rehearse, and perform. And over the decades, it's hosted legends like Leonard Bernstein, Aaron Copland, and Yo-Yo Mama.
Listen, you butchered all three of those. Leonard Bernstein, actually I don't even know which it is, Stein or Steen. Aaron Copland, and I think you meant to say Aaron Copland, and Yo-Yo Ma, who is brilliant. But yeah, you can totally feel the history there. And it's not just about listening. Tanglewood has all kinds of family-friendly programs there. There are lectures, and there are even workshops that let people engage with the music in unique ways. And the grounds themselves are beautiful.
Yes.
Chris and I had a tour of Tanglewood in the grounds a couple of years ago, and it's just an amazing space. There's all kinds of rolling lawns, there's shaded picnic areas, and then the mountains of the Berkshires are all around you. And I think the combination of music, nature, and history is really what makes Tanglewood a must-see when you're in that area.
Yeah, you go for a concert, but then you end up staying the whole afternoon or evening, just soaking up, walking around, and looking at everything. Tanglewood really delivers on every level.
Yeah, so Tanglewood is in the town of Lenox, and I feel like we should talk about the town itself, not just Tanglewood. Lenox is a really cool town, and it has this perfect mix of history, culture, and that small town charm that everyone just loves. The streets are lined with all kinds of boutique shops, art galleries, and cafes, and there's this feeling that every corner kind of has a story to tell.
And Lenox grew as a retreat for wealthy families during the Gilded Age. So a lot of the architecture has these beautiful old mansions and estates.
Yes.
You'll see intricate stonework, manicured gardens, and historic inns that have been welcoming visitors for over a century.
I gave him a thumbs up. That's why he gave a little chuckle, because he pronounced intricate.
You can almost walk down Main Street and picture the horse-drawn carriages rolling by in the early 1900s.
Yeah, you totally can, actually. And the art scene is alive beyond Tanglewood in Lenox. They've got galleries showcasing everything from contemporary paintings to local crafts. There are seasonal events, there's small theater productions, and even music performances in some of the historic buildings. It's the kind of town where you could spend a morning strolling, have lunch at a farm-to-table cafe, and discover a hidden art exhibit tucked away in a converted mansion. It's really cool.
And foodies will love it too, because Lenox has everything from classical New England fare to more electric international cuisine.
Eclectic.
And the local farmers market offers fresh produce, breads, cheese, and baked goods. And you can just all pair it and walk down this scenic street, and it gives you a real sense of the town's character.
Yeah, for sure. Plus, Lenox's location makes it a perfect home base for exploring the rest of the Berkshires. You're close to hiking trails, nearby waterfalls, historic sites, and even quirky stops like the nearby Hancock Shaker Village or a short drive to Mass MoCA, which we're going to tell you about both of those in a little bit. So, whether you're there for the music, the history, or just to soak in the atmosphere, Lenox gives you a little bit of everything.
Now let's head north to North Adams. Now, this is a town that's usually overlooked, but it became a real culture hub for the Berkshires, especially because of the Mass MoCA,
MoCA.
the Massachusetts Museum of Contemporary Art. The museum itself is a massive repurposed mill building, and walking through it feels like steeping into a world where art and industrial history collide.
Stepping into a world. But yeah, it's a really cool building. The size of Mass MoCA alone is staggering. It covers over 250,000 square feet. There are all kinds of massive installations, immersive exhibits, and sometimes even art you can walk through or interact with, which is really cool. And the old mill buildings give everything a raw, industrial kind of vibe that makes the artwork feel even more dramatic, I think.
Now, North Adams isn't just about the music,
Adams.
a museum. The town has been reinventing itself over the past few decades. You have cafes, breweries, little boutique shops that give it a creative energy. There's also local festivals, music events, and pop-up galleries. So there's always something happening no matter what time you visit.
Yeah, and the history of North Adams is pretty fascinating too. So it grew as an industrial mill town, and you can still see remnants of that past in the architecture. There are brick factories, old smokestacks, and converted warehouses. The way the community has transformed these spaces into cultural venues and creative businesses is really impressive.
Plus, it's a great launching point for exploring nearby natural attractions. You got hiking trails, scenic overlooks, the Hoosacek River
Close.
running through the town.
We'll let that go.
Even just walking through the streets gives you a sense of place that's both historic and alive with new energy.
Yeah, so if you're coming to the Berkshires, North Adams is definitely worth a stop. Between the world-class contemporary art, again with the small town charm, and the connection to history, it's a place where you can spend an entire weekend without running out of things to do.
Now we have to move on to Jacob's Pillow in Becket. This place is an absolute gem and a cornerstone of the Berkshires. It's a very high in the art scene and was founded in 1931 by Ted Shawn. It's one of the oldest dance festivals in the country, and it has been a home for dance artists all over the world ever since.
Yeah, what's amazing about Jacob's Pillow is that it's not just a festival, it's a full cultural institution. The campus includes multiple performance theaters, studios, archives, and even outdoor stages set among the rolling hills of the Berkshires. The experience is as much about being in the Berkshires landscape as it is about the actual performance itself.
Yeah, you'll see everything from classical ballet to contemporary modern dance, tap, hip-hop, experimental choreography. Some performances are intimate and some are large-scale productions, and often the dancers perform in unconventional spaces like outdoor lawns or historic studios, which makes every show unique.
Yeah, and plus Jacob's Pillow is a year-round hub for dance education. They run all kinds of workshops, master classes, and public rehearsals so visitors can see the creative process up close. It's really inspiring to watch dancers perfect their craft in historic spaces like that have hosted some of the world's most influential artists.
And some of those artists are Martha Graham, Alvin Ailey, Merce Cunningham, and modern innovators pushing the boundaries of walking the grounds. You feel connected to these centuries of dance history, and you get a sense of the dance culture in America.
Yeah, I didn't know Alvin Ailey performed there. That's pretty cool. Even the campus itself is beautiful. The outdoor areas are perfect for picnics, pretty much like anywhere else in the Berkshires. Or if you just want to relax before or after a performance, the views surrounding hills and fields are incredible. On a summer evening, listening to music or watching rehearsal while the sun sets behind the Berkshires is nothing short of magical, you guys.
Yeah, and you can spend the entire day doing stuff. Exploring the museum, archives, taking a guided tour, watching a performance, or just enjoying the landscape. Jacob's Pillow really embodies the Berkshires in a combination of everything art, history, and beauty.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you just said. But yeah, definitely Jacob's Pillow is a must see. But now I want to talk about one of my favorite places, and this is the place I mentioned earlier that has disappointed me the 2 times I've been there. I'm talking about Yankee Candle Village in South Deerfield. And technically, Deerfield is not considered part of the Berkshires. It's in the Pioneer Valley, which is right before the Berkshires, but it's close enough. And I think a lot of visitors include it on a Berkshires trip. Some people just think it's a big candle store, but it's actually a full-on experience
Yes.
when the things are open, that is.
Yes.
And they haven't been the 2 times I've been there, and I'm a little salty about that, to be honest.
But there's a Nutcracker Castle, a Bavarian Christmas Village,
Bavarian.
seasonal displays, fudge tasting, and even live candle making demonstrations. It's immersive in a way that makes you feel like you stepped into a tiny magical village.
Yeah.
I think the best time to go is during Christmas.
Agree, especially because they do have a lot of Christmas stuff on display, and like the Bavarian Christmas Village is so cool. But the first time we went during COVID, so a lot of things weren't open. We were still wearing our masks and all that stuff, and they have a section where you can make your own candle, but it wasn't open because it was during COVID times, and you have to get close to the employees, and we were still social distancing. So we went back, what was it, 2 years ago? Maybe it was even 3. I don't even remember. Because I wanted to make a candle so bad. And people called in sick that day or whatever, and it wasn't open. So it's like an hour and a half from our house. So I don't know if we're ever even going to go back. At this point, I've given up on making my own candle. And it's been a huge disappointment because that was really the only thing I wanted to do. But it is a really cool experience. And they don't just sell candles. You can buy like Christmas ornaments. They have a counter with old-timey candy. It's pretty cool. And you can walk through all the rooms and see all the intricate displays with all these amazing scents and colors around you. And every now and then you can catch a live demonstration, like Chris said, where they will pour the candles and finish them. It's just amazing. It's a really cool place to visit.
And then, even though it's technically just outside the Berkshires, it's close enough to be an easy detour. And you'll stop there thinking you'll be in and out in 10 minutes, and you'll spend out a couple hours there.
Easy.
And you'll be able to browse for gifts and get literally any scent of candle you want.
Yeah, I think they have scents that are just specific to the store, don't they?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. It's really cool. Another must-see stop in the Berkshires, which we mentioned earlier, is the Hancock Shaker Village. This place is pretty fascinating because it gives you a window into a completely different way of life. The Shakers were a religious community known for their simple living, clean design, and inventive craftsmanship.
Yeah, the village is a living history museum with restored buildings, gardens, and farm animals. You can see how the Shakers lived, worked, and built furniture, tools, and other items that were both functional and beautiful design. Their focus on simplicity and quality has influenced American design more than most people realize. I think President Nixon was a Shaker. Not 100%. Not 100%.
I didn't think they were really Shakers. I thought this was just like a reenactment. Just like Plymouth Plantation is a reenactment of...
We'll have to look at that, but I think he was a Shaker.
Interesting. I had no idea they were still around. Although, I guess, why wouldn't they be, really? If it just gets passed on from generations, I guess that would make sense. I think living history museums are pretty cool. What's that one on the way to the Berkshires? What's that one? Oh, Old Sturbridge Village.
Yeah, Old Sturbridge.
Yeah, from where we are in eastern Massachusetts, we would pass Old Sturbridge Village, which is another living history museum. And I forget, what is that, like early 1800s? I forget.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
They're pretty cool. Those living history museums are really cool. Except for Plymouth Plantation, because they won't come out of character. I don't know about the Shaker Village, but I know like at Old Sturbridge Village, they'll come out of character if you speak to them like realistically, but they will not break character at Plymouth Plantation, and actually it's kind of annoying. Anyway, walking through Hancock Shaker Village really does feel like stepping back in time. They have all kinds of workshops where you can watch the artisans create Shaker style furniture. They do demonstrations of traditional crafts and even have some hands-on activities depending on the season. Didn't we make Christmas cards at Old Sturbridge Village? I think we did like some kind of stamping on paper.
Maybe, yeah.
I think we did. We also roasted chestnuts on an open
Yes.
fire because we went at Christmas time,
That
and
worked
that
good.
was one of the worst smells I've ever smelled in my life. They were rancid. But anyway, if you visit the Hancock Shaker Village, it'll give you a real sense of how the community organized their daily life around their work, their faith, and innovation.
Even the farming aspect is real interesting too. They had sustainable practices long before it was trendy. They grew their own food, they kept their own livestock, and managed the land very carefully. The gardens are meticulously maintained, and you can see heirloom vegetables and flowers that would have been common in the 19th century.
Plus, the grounds themselves are beautiful. There are trails winding past historic buildings, there are meadows, orchards. Even if you're not a history buff, the combination of landscape, architecture, and craftsmanship really makes it a place you could spend hours exploring. And you probably should, because I don't know how much it costs, but I'm sure it's not cheap.
Yeah, it's a perfect stop if you want to understand the Berkshires beyond mountains and art, and to see the people who shaped the region with vision, creativity, and practicality. The Shaker Village is a place where history feels alive, and every building, too, and garden tells a story.
Yeah, now we're going to talk about Naumkeag, which is spelled Naumkeag. It's a stunning Gilded Age estate, which is in the town of Stockbridge. And the house itself is beautiful, but what really draws the people in are the gardens. They're thoughtfully designed with all kinds of terraces, hedges, fountains, and there are garden rooms that feel like outdoor spaces that are just tucked into the landscape.
And the views are incredible. You can see the rolling hills, distant mountains, perfect manicured lawns. It's one of those places where the combination of architect and nature just takes your breath away.
Yeah, architecture even. Walking through the gardens, you notice how each area has a different personality. Some spots are very intimate and shaded, which are perfect for reflecting or reading. Others are pretty dramatic and open, and they have sweeping vistas or cascading fountains. The way the plants, the stonework, and the pathways interact creates almost a story that you can move from one section to the next.
Yeah, the walls, the terraces, and stairways aren't just functional. They guide visitors throughout the property in a way that feels intentional and graceful. Even the smallest details, like stone benches or hidden alcaloids, make it feel like the designers thought about every experience a visitor might have.
Yeah, yeah. And the estate also hosts seasonal events too. Like they have garden tours, there are all kinds of workshops, guided walks, and they all give a deeper understanding of both horticulture and the history of the property. And I'm pretty sure they decorate for Halloween too, because I've seen pictures of it on Instagram, and it looks really cool. We've never been out there at Halloween time, but we should at some point before we move out of the state. Spending time there does really feel like stepping into a living painting, and it's very cool.
Yeah, between the house, the terraces, and the gardens, it's a full experience and just about a full day's worth that combines beauty, history, and a little bit of surprise around each corner.
Yeah, and while you're in Stockbridge, which is where the estate is located, it really is worth taking some time to wander around the village. The town green is a classic New England image, and it's surrounded by historic buildings, local cafes, and all kinds of cute little shops. There's a sense of history everywhere, from the cobblestone sidewalks to the architecture, and even just strolling the streets feels like stepping back a century, to be honest.
And, of course, the Normal Rockwell Museum is right there. It celebrates the artist who captured everyday American life in such a warm, humorous way. Seeing his work really helps you appreciate why towns like Stockbridge feel so iconic. The small moments, the community, and the charm of the season all come to life in his paintings.
Yeah, they do. And beyond the museum, there are little hidden gems everywhere. There's all kinds of galleries tucked into old historic homes, There's artisan shops with handmade goods, bakeries that smell like cinnamon and fresh bread. And plus, there's all kinds of seasonal events like fairs and outdoor concerts that make the town feel lively, even if it's just a quiet morning.
And if you're a nature lover, you're going to find walking paths along the river. You're going to find small trails around the outskirts that let you enjoy the rolling Berkshires scenery. It's the perfect combination of culture, history, and natural beauty in one small package.
Exactly. You could spend an entire day just wandering around Stockbridge, just popping into the shops, having lunch at one of the cute little cafes, and soaking in the scenery. It's another great stop on your Berkshires adventure.
Now let's talk about one of the most iconic natural spots in the Berkshires, Bash Bish Falls. It's the tallest waterfall in Massachusetts, dropping over 80 feet into a rocky gorge, and the scene around it is absolutely breathtaking.
Yeah, the hike there is part of the experience too. It's about a mile or so from the parking area, and it winds through the forest, and it goes across a couple of small streams and past moss-covered rocks. Even before you see the falls, you can hear the water and you can feel the anticipation building. It's almost like, what's that one in New Hampshire? Diana's Bath.
Yeah.
It's similar to that if you've ever been there, because that's what, like a mile-ish
Yeah.
into the woods.
So yeah, the walk is definitely going to be worth it. You can hear the water crashing into the deep pool. It's framed by cliffs and dense greenery. It gives it a hidden, almost cathedral-like feeling. It's perfect for photos, but it's also just for standing quietly and soaking it all in. The sound, the mist, and the natural beauty.
Yeah, but if you go there, it's important to remember that safety is your most important thing. The rocks around the pool can get very slippery, especially after the rain. Like, seriously, I've almost killed myself on rocks several times. But you don't have to climb the rocks. There are plenty of viewing areas that let you enjoy the falls without getting too close. And from those spots, the perspective is fantastic.
And then if you want to go a little later in the season, all the foliage is lush and green and the colors are everywhere. And even if you want to trek out in the winter, the waterfall will partially freeze and it transforms into a sparkling icy wonderland.
Ice-y, I like the way you said that. It's just one of those places where you would just want to hang out and bring a picnic, just listen to the water, enjoy the tranquility. Between the hike and the sound of the falls and the scenery, Bash Bish leaves a lasting impression on everyone who visits.
Now, if you're looking for some more outdoor adventure, you want to go to Chimney Peak. Now, most people think it's a ski mountain in the winter, but it's really a year-round destination. The slopes are great for skiing and snowboarding, but in the summer, it transforms into an adventure park with zip lines, mountain coasters, and scenic chairlift rides.
Yeah, exactly. The view from the top is stunning no matter what season you go there. You can take the lift up and see the mountains from up there, and you can just see forests and valleys stretching out in every direction. It's a great way to get a bird's eye perspective of the Berkshires without doing a full hike.
And the adventure
Score.
park is really fun. There's coasters from mountain that wind down the trees. There's zip lines that let you soar above the slopes, and hiking trails for all skilled levels. It's perfect for families, groups, or friends, or anyone looking to mix excitement with scenic beauty.
Yeah, the mountain also hosts several events and festivals throughout the year. They have some ski competitions and summer concerts and some adventure challenges. It's a hub for both adrenaline junkies and people who just want a peaceful day in nature with amazing views.
And even if you're visiting casually, the lift rides and trails are worth it. It's a great view, and family-friendly attractions make Chimney Peak a must-see stop in the Berkshires.
Yeah, even though Chimney Peak is really all about the adventure and the views, it is kind of fun to step back and think about the region itself, like how these mountains and towns got their start and why the area became such a special place in Massachusetts.
So here's a fun fact. The Berkshires got their name from the Berkshire County in England. Settlers thought the rolling hills resembled home, even if these peaks were taller. So this mixes an old world naming and a new world beauty feel that enables the region.
Yeah, and combine that with the cultural events, the the quirky little stops like Yankee Candle Village, the historic estates, art, hiking, waterfalls, small town charm, blah, 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 blah. And you realize that the Berkshires are really layered with all kinds of history stories, and every turn you're going to find something new. You just never know.
And we didn't even cover half of it, what's left in the Berkshires to look and explore. You're just going to have to go out there and explore it on yourself.
Yeah, the Berkshires are calling you, you guys.
So that's going to be it for us today.
Yeah, you know what to do. If I know I've got pictures from the Berkshires somewhere on my phone. I say this every week. If I think of it, I'll put it on Instagram. You know I'm a slacker. We'll see what I can do. But that's it.
All right, we'll see you later, alligator.
And a wild crocodile.